Hello, good evening, and welcome to Thingamajig's Racing Channel. We're back at the Red Bull Ring, ladies and gentlemen, and it's looking very grey and dank out there. It's dry, but it's looking very grey. We're back with Ultimate Racing League for the Deltona, and it's the penultimate round, round 9. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been quite the season. Quite the season, the series we've had here with the Lancia Delta Integrale has been an absolute fun fest of racing and misery. The guys out there, this car has been a handful, an absolute handful, and they've had to take it out. Rain, dry, mud, snow. They've been on everything. This season, ladies and gentlemen, they've raced on every surface available, and it has been quite thrilling, leaving us with a championship table that has got to be one of the tightest I've seen coming into round 9. Now, the Mad Dio Double G, Wayne G, is at that top of that table. He's on 281 points. I think the championship's done. I think he's done. I think he's got 2 more rounds. Maybe he's catchable, but if he just rocks up, he's going to get enough points to maintain that championship, I am pretty sure. But we'll see. But the Mad Dio Double G, 281 points. In second place, we have Silly Shot on 244 points. But don't get ahead of yourself, because with the Brownie is also on 244 points. 2 people tied for second place in that championship. It is a showdown, ladies and gents. Then in fourth place, we have Niggle on 222 points, but he's tied also with Slowpoke on 222 points. So double showdown at the lowdown, ladies and gentlemen. Then we have Hodgie on 203 points. We have Carlsberg on 187 points, but he is being chased by Sai on 179 points. Very tight. Phaser on 156 points ahead of Firepower on 148 points. Then we have Hawkeye on 110 points. Nath on 75 points. Taff on 58 points, and the Saint on 17 points. So coming into the final 2 rounds, ladies and gentlemen, it could not be any tighter. And although the track looks rather dry at the moment, I suspect we're going to see some damp stuff along the way. We've got 2 races ahead of us, a 15-minute sprint and then a 30-minute mini enduro, where the guys, I believe, have to change a compound of tyres. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, because if the rain comes, the tyre rules are out of the window. Shall we have a look at how they qualified beforehand, and what the grid is looking like with all those beefs to settle in the championship? It'll be interesting what the order is. Right then, on pole position, we've seen it many a time. It is the Mad Dio Double G, and he has, well, I'd say he's absolutely pelted it. He hit the ground, absolutely flying at the very beginning of the season, absolutely trounced the field. But I've got to say, the last few races, he's had to work for what he's got. So yeah, come the end of the season, it's the field caught up. The field caught up with him, and yeah, he's had to battle for the points he's got at the moment. In second place, Silly Shot with that second place showdown with the Brownie. Silly Shot on second place, coming in a little later in the championship. It couldn't have been much later though, with the scores he's with his how much he's scored. But yeah, maybe a round or 2. And Silly Shot then coming in 244 points, tied with Brownie in second place, and he's second place on the grid, staring down at that first corner. Third place then, ladies and gentlemen, it's Sai chasing down Carlsberg. Sai absolutely as well has come in, hit the ground running, and has got some absolutely cracking results so far. He's qualified in the top 3, and at Red Bull Ring, I mean, it's fortune favours the brave they say, in that braking zone. But also they say you can't win the race in the first corner. And I'm sure these three are going to test out that theory. Indeed. Fourth place then is Brownie. Brownie still in the game. Still got skin in the game, hasn't he? He's there staring at his nemesis right now, staring down the barrel and trying to decide which way he'd go. Which way would you go? You got to go this way, ain't you? You got to be launching, aiming for this area here. Get up his inside. Or maybe Brownie, because he's also got to take Si into account. Maybe Brownie is going to think about, sorry about the shaky camera, he's thinking about trying to get out wide. Because on that corner, you want to get as far over to the left as you can to get a good swing in there. If he goes up the inside, he's going to be very compromised come the first corner. So Brownie, a lot of calculations having to go on in his mind right now. Fifth place, it's the Phaser. Ladies and gentlemen, the Phaser having a love-hate relationship with his Deltona, and he got there in the end in the season. I think he's got himself. He was in the battle with Hawkeye and Firepower for a while there, but he's pulled away on the points, and I think he's clear of that battle. And I don't know if he's going to catch up Si, but. He was in a skirmish for a while with Firepower and Hawkeye, and he seems to have diverted that now. He's got two rounds just to really hone in and get the most out of this. I've heard a rumour that he is moving on at the end of this season, that he's moving to the other league, the other Wednesday night league that URL run. But you won't miss a single thing, because if you follow Slowpoke on YouTube, he covers said Wednesday night league. So you can still catch up with our boy Phaser next season. Oh, Phase, I don't know what I'm going to do. You are my replay dude. You are my replay man. I am never without replays when Phaser is in the house. So I don't know what I'm going to do next season. One of these better step up and be my replay man. Right then, Hodgie, ladies and gentlemen, sixth place. Hodgie missing around, I believe. I think that's what happened. And so he's dropped back in that battle with Niggle and Slowpoke. But he's here. He's here now representing, and if he can get some good points, I think he can get back in that battle with the Poke and the Niggle. So Hodgie then qualifying in sixth place. Seventh is Slowpoke, the man he is chasing, and Slowpoke, I think he is going to be one of those pilots that will be happy to see the rear derriere of the Lancia Delta. It's been a slog for him this season, it has to be said. There has been some races where he just hasn't been able to turn the car on, and we know Slowpoke is a top 5 driver, and yeah, this season it's been a fight for him. He's been in the top 5 of the championship. He still is. He's 5th currently, but yeah, he's had to have a fight this season. These guys have really felt this car this season, I've got to say. Then we have Tidders. Tidders is in 8th place. I don't know Tidders. I honestly don't. So I don't know if he's new, if he's just been hanging around and has decided to jump in 2 rounds from the end, or if it's someone we already know and they've just changed their name, because the car looks familiar, but they're all white and something, aren't they? So, well, welcome, Tidders, if you are new. And if you've just changed your name, then hi, you confusing mofo. And Carlsberg, ladies and gentlemen, 9th place. He's in that fight with Si. He's trying to fend off the Si, but it's 9th for the Berg at the moment here at the Red Bull Ring. So that's a little taster. It's a little insight on how their race weekend has gone so far. Their race event has gone so far. And now we'll see. They've got 15 minutes to reshuffle the order, ladies and gentlemen, and try and avoid the wet stuff if it comes. On the line then, They're all on the soft tyres. And it's a go here at Red Bull Ring for round 9 of the Deltona series. And Silly Shot up the inside is going for gold in the first corner. Wayne, the Mad DOGG, dropping back into second place. And Sai getting in there as well. Sai getting up the inside of the Mad Dog. And the Mad Dog taking it chilled at the beginning here. And picking up a penalty for what? For being slow off the line? Who knows? Silly Shot then is leading with Sai in second, and then we've got the Brownie up and into third. But that's no good to him because he needs to be ahead of the shot of Silly. Mad Dog in fourth place, paying a penalty. He barely done nothing. It is the penalty ring. I mean, we shouldn't be surprised. Carlsberg giving it big welly and trying to get past the slowpoke. And Carlsberg, a great start. Oh, he's coming across the Tidders there. And Tidders almost taking the Berg out. And Berg staring into him as Slowpoke there tries to get away from this little skirmish. The Mad DOGG down in sixth at the moment as Phaser also picks up a penalty. It is the Red Bull Ring. It is creed. It is down in stone, even in the middle of the Red Bull Ring, that thou shalt get penalties for nothing. And here we see the penalties getting dished out, and Slowpoke with one as well. Tidders hasn't, and Carlsberg hasn't. So Silly Shot, he's got a penalty as well, with the Sai chasing him down. You've just got to turn the penalty system off at this rate. There's certain races, Le Mans and Red Bull, they're just not worth running with the thingy. Sai's taking the lead now, ladies and gentlemen, after Silly Shot having to pay the penalty. But Silly Shot having a sniff down the inside, and he's going for gold, ladies and gentlemen. And Sai there is nothing he can do about it. Sai's picked up a penalty now as well. And Silly Shot is through and into the lead with a Brownie in amongst the action. Ooh, very close to the Sai there was the Brownster, and he's got the Mad Dog has made his way up and into fourth, no, third now. The Mad Dog on an absolute tear, ladies and gentlemen. Brownie down to fourth. We've got Slowpoke now up to fifth, ahead of the Hodge, who's up to 1 second on the penalties now. And then we've got Tidders up to 1.5 seconds on the penalties. And Carlsberg, he must have just paid a penalty. So Silly Shot leads. Sai is in second place. Mad DOGG third. And I think Tidders moving up there as Slowpoke must have paid his penalty, and the Hodge also having to pay a penalty there. Tidders, though, still 1.5 seconds on his name, and Phaser up to fifth, chasing down Brownie. Very close to Brownie indeed. Very close is he hit indeed. So Phaser all up and in his rear derriere as Brownie clambers to try and stay ahead. Hang on, I've got to do a text. I can't do two things at once. Do they do Red Bull? Wife just said she's in Lidl. I don't think they do Red Bull in Lidl. So Silly Shot leads the way with the Mad Dog now, 0.5 second penalty, but he's up and into second ahead of the side. Brownie and Phaser absolutely locked tight into a battle. Phaser going for the move up the straight, and it's side-by-side action as they lead their way up to the first corner, and Phaser's got the inside line. Can Brownie do the shuffle, get out wide and swing it in and get past Phaser on the exit of the corner? That's what he's been aiming for, but Phaser absolutely locks it down and takes fourth place from the Brown Meister. Unbelievable. The Brown streak at the moment, seeing Silly Shot disappear into the distance, and it's a struggle, ladies and gentlemen. This car can be a bit of a handful. Phaser at the moment then up and into fourth, having a very strong race as they're side by side again. Brownie comes back at the Phaser up the inside, not even, he's got it before the corner, and Brownie with a massive bit of slide through the final corners. Beautiful stuff. It's not fast, but it looks absolutely delicious. Phaser then back ahead of the Brownie after their dice. Beautiful stuff. This helps Slowpoke out, close the gap on the guys ahead. Slowpoke needing them points whilst Niggle is away, and Phaser then Locked into that 4th place. Sai with a penalty, chasing down the Mad Dio Double G. Na 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 na. It's the Dio Double G. And Mad Dog then giving it his all, and Silly Shot chasing down the championship, it seems. This isn't just about being ahead of the brown streak. This is all about chasing down the king of Wednesday evenings, ladies and gentlemen. The Mad Dio Double G is who Silly Shot is aiming for, but it's just not going to happen because Wayne's got a 40-point lead in that championship, and he's not going to pull a Piastri. And Silly Shot now could be under attack. Half a second penalty on his name, with the Mad Dio Double G closing in with the fastest lap. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is where the magic happens. Past the ladies, the tissues, it's going to get wet in here. So Mad Dio Double G closing in. I'm not going to do that sort of stuff. I've got to do some young racers comms soon, and I won't. Yeah. I'll be very careful with what I say. So there he goes, ladies and gentlemen. Silly Shot having to pay that penalty, and it's the it's the Dio Double G that's gone into the lead. Silly Shot then in second, with Sai in third, chasing them down. Brownie back ahead of the phaser, but there's nothing in it as Slowpoke he arrives at the scene to take on some scalps here. He's carrying a penalty. He's a wanted man in this town. And he goes for a move up the inside, hits the sausage curb a little bit and disrupts the Lancia as Phaser just drives around him, and Phaser then locked in. Oh, we're at the short track, sorry. I think I would have noticed that. It's fun, isn't it? The short track is a fun piece of gear, it has to be said. Slowpoke then all up and in. Phaser, No, Phaser's all up in Brownie's business as Slowpoke moves over to the side of the track to pay a penalty, and he's pretty safe from the Hodge behind him at the moment, but that has given Hodge an opening. Phaser then, half a second penalty, of course, and Brownie then fourth. He's going to be able to try and get a bit of distance between himself and the Brownie. Sai in third, Silly Shot in second, and the Mad Dio Double G and I don't know, there was a Wayne with the G surname saying that he wants to go and do the other Wednesday night thing as well, and so I don't know if we're losing the Mad Dog, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm not confirmed on that. But yeah, we might be losing the Mad Dio Double G. So Wayne, but like I said, I've got nothing confirmed. It's never confirmed until round 1 of the new season. All I know is it's the DTM Audi Group 2 car. It's going to be absolutely delicious, and I'm looking forward to it. But participants, I do not know. I definitely know Phaser's off. He left the room. He said goodbye. But the Mad Dio Double G, I think, might be going as well, but I'm not sure. Nothing confirmed on that. Silly Shot in second, and Sai is in third. The Brownie in for Phaser with a half a second penalty, being caught by the poke of Slowpoke, giving it some big welly, looking for that 5th place. He's outscoring Hodgie, which he needs to do. Silly Shot and Sai look like they're going to be a struggle for him. Sai might be still too far back to go on the attack of Slowpoke in the championship. And there goes Phaser pulling over to pay the penalty, and Slowpoke then up and into 5th, chasing down the brown streak, who's just done his fastest lap, as Sai then in third with the Silly Shot in second. Silly Shot losing sight of the leader at the moment. He pulled a 54.3 that last time around, and Sai a 54.2. So nothing in it between Sai and Silly Shot. One small mistake for Silly Shot, and Sai is going to be absolutely dicing with him. Sai, though, picking up a penalty, and Silly Shot safe for now as he tracks the dog. Brownie, though, that's going to be good. A podium could be on the cards here, ladies and gentlemen. There could be a chance of some podium action. Slowpoke in 5th. and the rain has not come so far. Fazer, is he paying another penalty? It's penalty fest out there. Hodgie then up and 6th, and Fazer's race turning to dire, unfortunately, and it's the penalties that are getting him. Stay in the white lines, my friend, stay in the white lines. Tidders in 8th, keeping Carlsberg honest. Carlsberg unable to close in on Tidders at the moment. And the Mad Dog leads. Silly Shot and Sai have some distance. Sai, really, his main concern at the moment is the Brownster. Brownie on his way, closing in, making things slightly uncomfortable for the young Sai. Slowpoke just behind them, ahead of Hodgie and Fazer, trying to keep it together. But I think this is the closest battle we've got on track at the moment, is Brownie versus Sai. And Sai just, he must have had a penalty last time with a 54-7 that time around, with Brownie coming in with a 53-8, nearly a second faster, and Brownie's going for the move up the inside, and Brownie wastes no time behind Sai. And is it the tyres? Sai's tyres are a little bit more worn, but they're still workable. They're very workable, so I'm not sure. But Sai at the moment losing a bit of pace. And the Brownster up and ahead into 3rd place, but it's still not enough. He needs to be ahead of Silly Shot. Sai coming back. Sai's come back, ladies and gentlemen. Sai woke up and has decided, no, I want the podium. The podium shall be mine. So Sai just ahead of Brownie. Brownie tucks in behind. And Sai then in 3rd at the moment, keeping the Brownster. But this is where the Brownster made his move last time. Side by side into the first corner, and Brownie again. Oh, that was rubbish being on car. You didn't see nothing, did you? Again gets that inside line, and Sai back down to 4th. I think Sai, he's braking a little heavier than the Brownster into that first corner, and hey, you don't want to go off, so he's playing it safe. Slowpoke all the time is closing in though. Look, Slowpoke letting it bubble a little bit, letting it ferment. What's the other thing? Letting it, I don't know, permeate until he decides to come into the action, and he's closing in on that podium battle rather swiftly. Brownie though trying to get away from the Sai. The quicker the better. And there you go, 53.9 for Brownie. Sai with a 55.0. So Sai definitely struggling with some pace at the moment. And Slowpoke, a 53.9, absolutely closing in. Hodgie is, Fazer's on the attack, ladies and gentlemen. Fazer is on the attack of the Hodgemeister. Hodgie having a very terrible lap. Last time around, a 56.1. And Fazer then, and Fazer's picked up a penalty for some reason or another. He must have looked the wrong way. Oh, now he's out of control, but he's wrestling her back under his control now, ladies and gentlemen. And Hodgie gets a breather. Slowpoke then, and Sai. He's not quite there yet. Silly Shot, 2nd, looks pretty safe there. He's a little distance away from Wayne G, who's leading the way. And putting this championship to bed, ladies and gentlemen. He's not leaving any doubters out there at all. And Silly Shot just not quite on the pace of the Mad Dio Double G. Brownie there, up to 3rd with Sai in chase. Sai now back in the 53s. He suddenly found that pace again. And Slowpoke, 53.3 also. They're going faster than they've gone before in this race. Hodgie, 55. He's really struggling with the pace of that Delta, and Fazer, the penalties are keeping him off his rear derriere at the moment. Tidders doing just enough. This is his first time in the car, and my word, he has kept it respectable. He's kept it on the track, and yeah, learning for the next race. And Carlsberg is better than this. You're better than this, my friend. Obviously, Red Bull, not a track on Carlsberg's list. So Mad Dog, fastest man, 52s, ladies and gentlemen, into the 52s, and he is away. He's cooking. I think the flag will be out before he gets to the line. We've hit our 15 minutes. Hey, Carbon Dwarf's in the chat. Hello, dude. I didn't even know if you subscribed anymore. I didn't even know if you were on this planet. I text you, Sod. You didn't reply, but then you text me and I didn't reply before that. So Mad Dog then goes across the line. He picks up a penalty, but I'm sure he's a second ahead of Silly Shot, so he's fine. Silly Shot crosses the line in second place. Great drive, and the Brownster gets his podium. Boom! Sai then in fourth with the Slowpoke in fifth. Slowpoke very close to Sai in the end there. Hodgie just about ahead of the Phaser. The Phaser on it today, but Hodgie kept ahead. Phaser with the penalties. And Tidders, welcome, comes home in 8th place ahead of the Carlsberg, who I think slowed down on that last lap, so he didn't have to do another lap. Not having a great time, it seems, is the Berg. But Mad D-O-double-G making sure that this championship is secured, locked down, tight, and taking that win from Silly Shot. And Brownie staying very close to Silly Shot, so it's still, you know, there's still only a couple of points between them. And Brownie, if he has a good second race here, he's got a good opportunity to get ahead of Silly Shot in that championship battle and really claim second rather than joint second. Right then, let's get on to that next race then. I think it's the 30-minute race. I think I'd know after 9 rounds, but I do a lot of streams with lots of different rules, and sometimes I get confused which rule is which for what team. So here we go. This is it, race 2. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Teacher hit me with a ruler, ruler snapped, and the teacher got the sack, and we all went marching home. So then let's have a look at the grid. It's wet, baby. That's what she said. So it's a bit damp out there, it looks. So we are going to see penalties, we are going to see cars flying off the road, and we are going to see cars pirouetting in a sexy way. It's going to be very seductive. Get the tissues. Carlsberg starts on podium. He has gone for full wets. Tidders starts second. He has also opted for the full wet tyre. Phaser in third. He's on the wet tyre. Hodgie on the wet tyre in fourth. Slowpoke fifth, taking a gamble on the inters, maybe hoping it's going to ease off a little. Ease off. The rain maybe after a couple of laps. It might be a struggle the first lap or two against the wet drivers, but we've seen this season when it starts drying up, that wet tyre becomes ridiculously useless. So the inters might be a good shout from the poke of slow there. Sai, sixth, he's taking a gamble with the inters. Brownie is also on the inters. Silly Shot going full wets, and the Mad Dog taking a chance on the inters. They've gone ABBA, take a chance on me. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be exciting. This is going to be cray-cray, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready? Let us begin the Mad Fest that is race 2, round 9 of the Deltonas is away. Carlsberg then, great movement for Carlsberg off the line. Absolutely, he's almost 2-3 car lengths ahead of the crew already. Sai has gone absolutely pelting it. And a great start from Sai, but he was on the inside of the corner, and those that were slightly ahead got a better drive through the corner. Slowpoke and Tidders going at it with Phaser as well. Phaser on those full wet tyres, and Slowpoke up the inside. The inters seeming to be an okay tyre at the moment. Tidders sliding around on his full wets, and Slowpoke going slightly wide there with Phaser on his outside. Phaser going for the move around the outside, and now that's Phaser. No, they're side by side coming up towards the final second to final corner, and Phaser just ahead of Slowpoke as he slides into the corner though, and Slowpoke staying with him. Those inters doing okay. It's not too bad. It's very wet on the curbs, ladies and gentlemen. Hodgie up past Sai. Sai got a bit of a... He got onto the curbs and it got very wet. His rear end stepped out somewhat. Mad Dog up to 7th ahead of Silly Shot on those wets. And the Brownie on the inters is a duke out for Silly Shot and Waney at the moment. But the Brownie needs to be ahead of Silly Shot at this point. Carlsberg, absolutely cracking start. Still flying in the lead. He's on those full wet tyres, ladies and gents. And he's trying to cling on to the lead. Tidder's doing a super job, but he's picked up a 1 second penalty. Seems harsh, but it's the Red Bull Ring. Phaser in third. They'll all get a second penalty at some point. It evens out, ladies and gents. Don't you worry. Slowpoke just getting rid of a penalty. Slips to the rear derriere as the Mad Dog and Sai come through. Sai trying to keep the dog off the lawn, ladies and gentlemen. And Waney isn't going to be kept off any lawns here today. Silly Shot 7th with Slowpoke now down into 8th, and that's a more points deficit for the Brownie. He wants to be on that shot of Silly at the moment. Silly Shot going past the Mad Dog. Silly Shot is on those wet tyres, and we are borderline between inters and wets here, and it doesn't seem like there's an advantage either way. Sai then up into 4th. Maybe the wets are starting to come in. Carlsberg still out in the lead. Well, all top 4 cars are on wet tyres, so maybe there is an advantage. Carlsberg though absolutely flying, and I said he was just using that first race as a test for this one. I know I said that about Tidders. I said Carlsberg doesn't like Red Bull Ring, but Carlsberg likes it when it's wet, ladies and gents. So Phaser then chasing him down, and Phaser could do with a great result here, but it is early doors in this race, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not get carried away with ourselves whatsoever. Tidders, superb showing at the moment, sitting in 3rd place in tricky conditions, as down here we have a race fest going on. Sai with a penalty. Hodgie, no penalty. Silly Shots in there as well with a penalty. Mad Dog with a penalty. The odd one out is the one without the penalty. Sai goes very wide, slides into the first corner. He's maintained like Leclerc, but Silly Shot and the Mad Dog going through, so he's nothing like Leclerc, so he's let them all go through. Slowpoke as well up through and up into 7th. Sai getting hit with another penalty there, as that's great for Brownie, is it not? No, Silly Shot is who Brownie's chasing. He's up to 4th now. This is some crazy stuff happening. Silly Shot then pays his penalty. The Mad Dog pays his penalty. And it's Slowpoke, is it, that comes through? No, Hodgie looks like he's the man who was carrying the least penalty through the penalty area. Silly Shot then in 4th. Tidders, keep wanting to say Tiddlers like a fish. Vodka Rob saying, good afternoon, sir. How the devil are you? I am super. Thank you for asking. And Carbon saying, yeah, has been abuse time. Oh, busy time, sorry. Abuse. I thought he'd been busy abusing people. So Carlsberg then out there in the lead. Phaser in 2nd place with Tidders in 3rd. We've got Silly Shot in 4th. Hodgie in 5th. The Mad Dio Double G in 6th spot. And then we got Brownie under threat of Slowpoke and the Sai. On board with the Sai then. He's in the last spot, which is very surprising. Podium from the first race. Was he in the podium? I think he was. Or did Carlsberg get him right near the end? I can't. Yeah, Carlsberg got him, didn't he? Right near the end. Sai then going for the move around the outside of the poke, but the Slowpoke sitting tight on the apex and not giving up anything. No ground shall be given up, says Slowpoke. Looks like Sai. I don't think you're allowed to bump draft, so maybe he just got close. Pretty sure it's the URL that say no bump drafting. And Sai then clinging onto the back of the Slowpoke. Slowpoke closing in on Brownie ahead. And these do look rather loose, don't they, in the corners? Whoa, very loose. So Sai there with a loose rear derriere. And nearly losing the back end of the Delta. They're on the inters, but it is inter. It should be going to the inters now. The track is drying. So looking up at the front, Carlsberg on those full wets. You can see that it is definitely drying out there. The track's getting faster, 59.4. But the Mad Dog, 59.1s, he's pulled out of the bag. Fazer in second, being caught by Tidders, but Tidders has got a penalty. And yeah, Fazer not quite into the 59s yet. And Tidders really is closing in on the Belgium. He's getting a good drive through there, and Fazer driving quite defensive already. Trying to watch his six as Tidders closes in, but they're coming up to the penalty line. Then we've got Silly Shot in fourth place ahead of the Mad Dio Double G, who's carrying a penalty there, and Hodgie will be very, very pleased about that. Indeed. Now then, Loosey Goosey, says Vodka Rob. Yeah, the rear derriere of these Lanciers do seem to have a mind of their own. So Tidders, he was closing in on Fazer, but I think Fazer now picking up the pace and getting on with the business of getting on. Oh yes, 59.9 there against Tidders' 1 minute. And that's going to give Silly Shot an opportunity, who's now into the 58s. And the Mad Dog in fourth, he's knocked it into the 57s. So the track drying quite quickly there, and the intermediate runners are starting to come back. Big Dan in the chat saying, afternoon thingy. Why, hello, Big Dan. I saw I had a message from you on Discord. I'll get on it. I'm sorry. It's trying to squeeze things in today. And I don't think, and I need to rush off to Tesco before they close at 4 to get me some little cans of energy, should we say. So Carlsberg then leads the way, and he's doing a fantastic job, but you can't ignore those intermediate runners' lap times. And he's just hoping it dries exceedingly quick, possibly, so he could go straight in and go straight to dries, because he's not going to want to go and put intermediate tyres on. And you can see he's looking for the wet stuff, and so's Fazer, and so is Tidders, and Silly Shot also on those wet tyres. But Mad Dog on the inters, he's staying on the drier stuff. He says, no, son, I've got loads of life in these, and they're fast as hell. Slowpoke then, he's in a crowd down there, 6th place, with the Hodgie coming around the outside, and the Hodgie's got it all kinds of wrong there. And Slowpoke survives in 6th, with Sai really close to his rear derriere. Sai on those intermediate tyres, and now Sai in the changeable conditions is really finding a bit of pace in his Deltona. His Lancia Delta Intrigali is singing, ladies and gentlemen. It's a sonnet. And Slowpoke at the moment having his hands full with a mirror full. Oh, Slowpoke on a huge drift through the final corner. Beautiful stuff, absolutely fantastic to see. And again, not fast, but we still appreciate it here at Thingamajig Racing Channel. We like your sacrifice, Slowpoke. I know you lost a couple of positions, but it looked fantastic. Silly Shot then looking for it. Wow, where are all these lot come from? These are the wet runners. The Inters have caught them up, surely. And Mad Dog's in there as well. Fazer then in 2nd place. He's got himself past, who was it? Tiddlers. No, it was Tiddlers chasing down Fazer, wasn't it? Now Tiddlers slipping down to 5th. Silly Shot into the action with Fazer as well. That must be scary as hell in there. In this little batch of cars. Mad Dog is up to 2nd. He's chasing down. Oh, Carlsberg now. Sai slices through the corner, and Slowpoke goes up his inside there. Beautiful stuff from Slowpoke, and there goes Sai as well. So no, not Sai. Tidders, sorry. Everyone getting past Sai there. He must have really messed up that corner whilst we were on board. Slowpoke then on the attack of Fazer. Fazer trying to stay on the wet stuff. Carlsberg leads this race handsomely, but is it enough? Is it enough? Because he's got a Mad Dog chasing him down. Fazer, Tidders and Slowpoke all trying to decide who wants that final podium position, and Slowpoke at the moment has got his nose just ahead of Fazer, and the wet tyre definitely is starting to fail here. They're starting to fall back. They're feeling the pain of that tyre. They had great guns at the beginning, but the Inters are starting to now come into play. Coming into play. And Big Dan saying 10 out of 10 on that drift, and Big Dan is the king of drifts, so that's high praise indeed. Carlsberg out there in the lead at the moment, feeling very lonely, but Mad Dog 56.3, he's on his way. Slowpoke at the moment holding on to third as Phaser with those wet tyres is hoping. Oh no, it's Slowpoke giving hang on, where is it? Slowpoke, who's up each other's bums then? Oh, it's these two, Sai and Phaser. Oh, poor Phaser again, those wet tyres not holding on. Brownie's coming into play as well, and Brownie ahead of Silly Shot, which is what he needs. He took a risk with those intermediate tyres, and it's starting to pay off as we're hitting the 12-minute mark, I think, of a 30-minute race. I'm pretty sure this is 30 minutes, this race. And Silly Shot and Brownie's duel is far from done. Phaser at the moment holding on with those wet tyres. Brownie on the inters, but they're feeling a little burnt. Carlsberg's gone in with his wets, and so has Waney. They're not going to dries, surely. They're not, are they? That would be crazy. It would be crazy indeed. The curbs are still very wet. The pit exit is still very wet. I can't imagine they're going in for wet. It's quite wet down the straight still. So Carlsberg into the pits from the lead. I could understand he might want to put inters on, but the inters aren't going to help him now. Mad Dog with his inters and Sai with his inters, they're in. And I think they're going to all try and risk the dry tyre, which is a mental crazy if that's what they do. Slowpoke staying out there, the inters, they're still good. He says they're still good. There's still water on the track. Brownie as well stays out on his inters into second. Silly Shot on his full wets. If there was someone who needed a pit stop, it was Silly Shot, and he's destroying those wets at the moment, as is Phaser and Tidders as well, almost crucified his front left tyre. Hodgie also stayed out on the wet tyre, and the Mad Dog has gone for a set of racing mediums. Carlsberg back onto a set of inters. Well, he's moved from wets to inters, and mediums for Sai. Carlsberg may have made a mistake there from the lead of the race. He's gone to inters, but he is doing the old you've got to race to what's on the track, but it is just underneath the line of dries. But if you go out onto the curbs, well, we'll see. The medium tyres, they might have got it wrong, or Carlsberg may have got it wrong, but at the moment there definitely is a dry tyre. They're definitely going to end this race on a dry tyre, which means Carlsberg's going to have to visit the pits again. Lay on the brakes there. Dries versus inters, and Carlsberg just about staying ahead. But now Sai on the dry line, out of the corner, claiming position. But in the corners, this is where it gets ropey for the dry runners. And oh, Sai's just gone head on with a barrier and was slapped at the same time with a 1.5 second penalty. Where is the fairness? Where is the fairness? And oh, the wet tyres now really, I mean, the dry tyres really not are struggling. So Mad Dog, he's tiptoeing around, and he's managing it. He stayed on the track for a lap. Carlsberg at the moment feels he's made the right choice with that intermediate tyre. Sai is probably questioning a lot of things in life at the moment. The day he bought Gran Turismo 7 is definitely in the mix there. Slowpoke in the lead. No sign of a pit stop. He's going to wait until it's bone dry. Are we all right? Can we still hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. So, I can hear you knobhead. So, Slowpoke, now he's in. Now he's decided that's the time. Brownie's staying out. Brownie's taking the risk. Phaser on them wet tyres. He must be absolutely on the rims virtually. He's staying out as well. Crazy. Unbelievable stuff here. Everyone else looks like they're going to pit. Silly Shot, Tidders, Hodgie all into the pits. Hodgie was virtually on his rims as well. Carlsberg out there on the inters ahead of the Mad Dog. The Mad Dog on the dry tyres has slipped behind the inter tyres, but even so, I think the inters, I mean, they're going to end up on the dry. So at some point, Carlsberg may have to make another pit stop, unless he's just going to try and carry on the rest of this race with the intermediates. That's 15 minutes less on the tyre, and Slowpoke's come out on the medium tyres. Mad Dog all up and in Carlsberg's business there. The track is dry, and the rain has stopped. And Brownie now, he comes in with Fazer staying out. Fazer really is going for a radical strategy there as Mad Dog and Carlsberg go side by side, and the Mad Dog's got to be careful. He's got to stay on that dry line. He cannot deviate, but he's through. He's through ahead of Carlsberg, and Slowpoke coming in as well on those mediums. So Carlsberg, is he going to stick to those inters? He's gone back over to where the wet stuff is. But at the moment, it's looking quite dry out there. Fazer making his way around, but he's losing a lot of time as he's doing so. As you can see, the Mad Dog doing a 56. A high 56 that time around. Berg doing a 57.7. And Slowpoke, well, he did an outlap, so it's hard to say. Brownie's come out of the pits behind these guys in 5th. Sai is in 6th on dry tyres. Brownie's put dry tyres on. Silly Shot onto the dry tyre. Hodgie on the dry tyres, and Tidders, he's gone for racing softs, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, the medium tyre and the hard tyre are the two tyres they've got to use in this one, but if the tyre rule, well, we'll see. I'm not sure if they're allowed to use the soft, but I also know if the rain comes, the tyre rules go out of the window. So maybe he was allowed to use softs. So Tidders on a very fast tyre indeed, chasing down the Hodge. Fazer still out on his wets, and they're dead. They're absolutely done. And the Mad Dog closing in very rapidly. Slowpoke as well. Carlsberg still holding on to that 4th place. What's the gap between him and the Brownster? It's a long race still. There's still a good 12 and a bit minutes left of racing here, ladies and gentlemen. And Carlsberg, he's asking a lot because the Inters are getting shot as well with these. He's got to go in. He's got to go in, hasn't he? Ah, oh, poor Berg. Poor the Carlsberg. Fazer now in. Fazer is now in, but I think he stayed out way too long and lost a lot of time on those couple of laps. So Mad Dog goes through and into the lead again. Who would have thunk it? He didn't look like he was in this race, and now he is absolutely, he took a very big gamble onto those mediums. So did Sai, and now Sai is up and into 5th place. Not too shoddy, chasing down the brown streak, but quite a way behind the brown streak, I think. So the Brownster all up and in Berg's business. And I think Carlsberg must have just got past Brownie. Did Brownie have a bit of a hiccup? Or maybe he's just really closed up. I thought the Berg was in 4th. Oh, Fazer pitted. Sorry, yeah, Fazer pitted. That's why Berg's up in 3rd. And I think, oh, that's 2 into 1 does not go there. The Berg has decided to get rid of those inters. They are shot. And Brownie then, Carlsberg, where did poor old Fazer come out? See, Fazer came out right at the back. And quite a way off Tidders as well. Well, no, maybe not. Yeah, quite a bit off Tidders. And I think that is pretty much where the Berg might end up as well. Unfortunately, the Mad Dog then leads from Slowpoke. Slowpoke giving it some big balls, though. He's giving it some big revs up against the Mad Dog. Brownie in 3rd, ahead of Silly Shot by 2, so that's good. Good points for the championship. And Sai there is just ahead of Silly Shot, but Silly Shot has the pace we've seen around here when the track is dry. Hodgie there in 6th, ahead of Tidders, but Tidders on the faster tyre. Fazer onto the mediums. He's got a penalty, and the Berg has got a target. The Berg as well onto the faster tyre, the soft tyre, for the last 10 minutes, and nearly loses the car. But Carlsberg, oh, the lead that he had, the glory that he had at the beginning of this race. But the wet tyre, I mean, if the track was always drying and they knew it was going to dry, the wet tyre was a huge risk at the beginning there. Mad Dog, I mean, we've seen that pattern before, I think, this season, where it was started wetter and those on the inters just had to bide their time, and then it started drying out and the inters then just came to the forefront and the wets absolutely fall off a cliff. So Mad DOGG at the moment leads the way from Slowpoke, but Slowpoke tracking him. keeping a close eye. And it's still damp out there, ladies and gentlemen. If they put a wheel on the curb, it is a good night. So it's still all to play for Slowpoke. He wants to apply that pressure on the Mad D-O-double-G. Sha-la-la-la-la. It's the Mad D-O-double-G. So Brownie in third. Sai is in Silly Shot's way. Silly Shot duking it out for second in the championship with the Brownster, and he's got Sai in his way. He's already gained points on Brownie already in this event, and at the moment he's on a deficit as Sai gets a little squirrel on under braking, not under accelerating. As he was braking into the corner, the car was squirreling. That was fun. And Sai at the moment driving that car on the raggedy edge as Brownster disappears. We got yellow flags. Oh no! There's a yellow flag already though. What's the yellow flag before that? Is it Carlsberg? Oh, Carlsberg goes for a pirouette. I said we'd see cars flying and pirouettes happening. So yeah, Carlsberg has a nightmare. And then the Mad D-O-double-G arrives on the same corner. Yeah, no, he gets past Carlsberg, and then it's the next corner he loses a little bit of traction, and he's down, and he's got a 1.5 second penalty for meeting barrier, and he's struggling to get the car onto the dry stuff as the Brownster moves up a position, and that's what I'm talking about. I said it could all fall apart in a second for these drivers. Slowpoke. Oh, is it raining again? My words. Are they forgetting their heads? Do they think there's more grip than what there is? Unbelievable stuff. So here we go. Slowpoke heavy braking into the first corner, and you see it's getting up onto those curbs. You see they want to get onto the curbs because that's how they're used to driving, and on this drying out conditions they're getting confused. And Slowpoke then with a 1.5 second penalty, as has the Mad D-O-double-G. Sai coming into the fray looking for second place, and look who's in the lead. It's the Brown Streak, ladies and gentlemen, the Brownster. He's had a couple of wins already this season. He's in that second place championship battle with Silly Shot, and he's leading the race. Who would have funked that? Fantastic. This is fantastic. I love it. I don't want the Deltonas to end, for heaven's sakes. They're so much fun. I know the Audi DTM is going to be fun, but it can't be as fun as this. It can't be as unpredictable. They're just absolute speed machines with downforce. These guys are absolutely having to dance around on their accelerators, wibble wobble the wheel, just to keep these cars in line. It is a handful for sure, but fun to watch. Sai then up and into second place, Silly Shot in third, Slowpoke down into fourth with the Mad D-O-double-G chasing him down, and how the tables turn, or the turntables turn. I said it right, but I wanted to say it wrong, which is quite annoying because I usually say things wrong by accident. And then when I wanted to purposely say, like, when how the turntables, I said it right. Gutted. Slowpoke then in fourth. Oh, Silly Shot's picked up a little penalty. He's been a very naughty boy, and Slowpoke is ready to punish him. And Mad Dog, he must be seething. He must be absolutely seething. This race was won, wasn't it? It was won. It was won and done. The championship to bed. And now fighting down in fifth place is not on his bingo card. So Brownie leads. He's just got the fastest lap. Is that a new fragrance you're wearing, or just the smell of confidence? I think it's the smell of confidence, ladies and gentlemen. That's the man stank that he is letting out. Has an aroma of a winner. Brownie under control, even though it looks like the car is not. Sai in second. Oh no. There's 5 minutes left and Sai's used all his fuel up. That's not good. Brownie's all right. How have Sai? What you done with your fuel? I think these must have topped up in their pit stops. It looks like Sai didn't, and if he did, he didn't put enough in. So Sai's going to have to make another pit stop. That is heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking for the Sai. I wonder if the realisation, he must have come across him. He must have seen the sign saying only one more lap's left fuel, unless he drives with no HUD, which would be crazy. So Sai, he's going to have to do a splash and dash, and he's got 3 cars lined up behind him. So he's definitely, the podium isn't, it was never for him today, it seems. Oh, poor Sai, that is heartbreaking. All that hard work and grueling racing, and it's just down to, oh, what a lovely pit entrance though. Hey, that's a pit entry. That is the standard of all pit entries from now on, just skirting it in. Brownie then, Slowpoke moves up in second place, Silly Shot in third, Mad Dog slipped back. Oh no, Slowpoke's moved forward, sorry. And still keeping that 1 car distance from the Brownie. And that's not good for Silly Shot. Mad Dog in 4th, Tidders up and into 5th now, but those tyres, maybe this is why they didn't choose the softs, because the tyres are not looking too hot. Mediums for the Phaser, and they're going good. Oh, Phaser was having a cracking race this one as well, wasn't he? When the wet tyre was at its best. Sai then back out the pits with a little splash of the Go Faster juice, and back out ahead of the Hodge. The Hodge not having the race he was hoping for. It looks like he had a bit of an off on the lap 25 and possibly lap 23. So Brownie, heart in his throat at the moment. He'll be feeling everything in that car. He'll be thinking it's just about to skirt away from him. He'll want to be learning from the Mad D-O-double-G, not to get overly confident, not to ride the curbs too much. And yeah, I think Wayne's fuel will be all right. 3 minutes to go is tight. And Slowpoke tight on fuel as well as the Brownie. Well, now they're all about the same. So Silly Shot, loads of fuel. So if those guys do have to start lift and coasting in the final lap or two, Silly Shot has got plenty to burn. And Wayne goes through the penalty area, but for surprisingly, he's not got a penalty this time. Tidders, the soft tyre, doing okay, but he's got Phaser behind. 55.3 from Phaser last time around. Tidders, 56.7. And the soft tyre slowly going away from him at the front left there. Sai, the unlucky story of the day. And he's a bit of out of sight of the phase. And Phaser going out in a blaze of glory. Brownie though, wowzers, what a turnaround. What a story. On the back foot to Silly Shot, looking like Silly Shot was gonna go and take the second place in the championship rather than the joint. They're sharing it at the moment. And Brownie comes back with a win. Demoralising for Silly Shot. That's gotta be. Silly Shot on the podium though, he's still in the fight. Let's not count him out, and he's all over the rear derriere of Slowpoke, who really is starting to get concerned about his fuel tank, I'm sure. I'm sure he'll be slightly nervous with how that fuel tank is looking. Silly Shot in third place then, all up and in his rear derriere. The Mad Dog with a half a second penalty, and again a low fuel tank, as is the Brownies. We're into virtually the last minute and 15 seconds. Oh, so they'll get another lap on top of this one. And that's not going to be good for their fuel tanks. And Silly Shot climbing all over the back of Slowpoke. And Slowpoke, I imagine, a little bit nervous to touch the accelerator. He'll be wanting to just coast this one through the last couple of laps. A nice, easy run. But Silly Shot is giving him far from that, as the Mad Dog behind him. But the Mad Dog as well, low on fuel and not looking to get excessive with the accelerator. And Slowpoke at the moment just trying to keep Silly Shot in his place. But Silly Shot is all about giving it full revs, where Slowpoke has to be quite mindful. And here we go. And I think that's it. I think Slowpoke, he's having to ease off. It's virtually no fuel left in that car. The Brownie as well, he's trying to ease off. Look, 57s and 56s, even though he can do 54s. And Silly Shot is going full pelt. Silly Shot is going full pelt, ladies and gentlemen. He has no fuel issues. And the Brownie, Slowpoke and Mad D-O-double-G all concerned with their fuel. Tidders is flying on the soft tyres, even though they've gone. Phaser can't catch him. Sai trying to catch up the Phaser. Hodgie in 8th. We lost someone, didn't we? We had 9. On the final lap then, Hodgie's crossed the line for 8th place. Brownie into the final 2 corners. Silly Shot is all up and about his business with all that fuel. Brownie still got a little squirt. He's on vapours as he goes into the final corner. Can Brownie hold on to it down the straight? If he's got his engine turned down, Silly Shot has got to run on him. And it's Brownie just ahead of Silly Shot. And the Mad D-O-double-G got Slowpoke. Oh no, Slowpoke must have run out of fuel. Slowpoke out of fuel as Tidders comes along pretty wide, and he takes Slowpoke down the straight across the line, and Slowpoke crawls to 5th. Oh, poor Slowpoke. Phaser then comes home in 6th spot with Sai in 7th. Oh, we lost the Berg. Carlsberg, he's the one that left. What a shame, because he had a great start to this race. And Sai there with damage and a slippy. Where did Sai? Sai was up there, wasn't he? Oh, what a shame for Sai. Coming home in 7th. We didn't see what happened to him, but he looked like he had a bit of an off. Oh, he had to go in and get fuel, didn't he? So he was kind of out of it. He was he was ahead of Hodgie, and Hodgie finished. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Who would have funked that? What an exciting race. Unbelievable stuff. The dramas, the ups, the downs, and fantastic finish, says Vodka Rob. Yeah, that was intense. Intense, ladies and gentlemen. So Brownie then gets the win. Congratulations, Brownie. Super stuff. That was amazing. Silly Shot. Oh, my word. Oh, my word. So close, so tight. It was fantastic. I loved it. Vodka Rob saying, for the first 2 anyway, shame for Slowpoke. I know. Poor Slowpoke. Go and subscribe to his channel, everyone. Give him a bump. Make him feel better. Mad Dog then in 3rd. Picking up from Slowpoke. Running out of the fuel. And that's your top 3. Mad Dog, I'm pretty sure he's Championo of the Deltonos. So congratulations to him. Brownie and Silly Shot, it's still to be. I think they're still even, because Brownie finished behind Silly Shot, but I think you get more points for a win, and Brownie got the fastest lap, so Brownie might have edged it. Brownie may have edged it in this one, ladies and gents. Brownie might just be ahead. I could check, you know. I have that information, I'm sure. And I don't usually tell you the table after the race. I usually save it for the beginning of the race, but I'll just give you a heads up in this one. Let's have a quick look, see if it is. It's Silly Shot, it looks like, who does the tables, so that's painful. That's painful for him. If it has changed, there is different scores. Yeah, Brownie in 2nd, Silly Shot in 3rd, ladies and gentlemen. And it's 280 versus 278, 2 points between them. So you can't miss Goodwood, the final round coming up, because that is going to be the Brownie versus Silly Shot. It's going to be great. And so far, Brownie 2 points ahead of Silly Shot in this championship. Amazing. Mad Dog finishes in 3rd. Tithers in 4th. And a great one there. Great one to put the soft tyres on if it's allowed. I think it is. I think the rules are out the window when it's wet. So Tidders going for that soft tyre. Slowpoke ran out of fuel. What an absolute nightmare for him. Great result as well, 2nd place. But the fuel just didn't make the distance, I'm afraid. Phaser in 6th. And again, it's the love-hate relationship he has with the Lancia. Sai, again, another one with fuel issues. And he had to make a pit stop near the end there, put him out of contention. And the Hodge, it just didn't figure for him today. Things just didn't fall into place for him. And he came home in 8th place. Well done, guys. Fantastic stuff. A huge thank you to the Ultimate Racing League and their admin team. It takes a village to bring these races to us, and they do an amazing job in organising and sorting out. Big thank you to obviously Phaser. I'm going to miss you, man, my replay guy. Big thank you to all of the pilots for turning up and putting on such an amazing display. It's been fantastic to watch, and a huge thank you to you guys out there that tune in and get involved, and I appreciate you all. So Vodkrov saying Goodwood will be tasty, definitely, and Vodkrov also saying, especially with how these cars drift on the tight track, will be scary. I can't wait. They should make them just use hard tyres. Because then they'll be sliding all over the place. Well, I promised you spills, thrills, and all kinds of drama, ladies and gentlemen, and I think they delivered. So you are welcome. I'll see you at the next stream. Tooroo, peace and love. Peace and love.